Welcome back my YouTube channel. I am telling about for this coin, the 2011 Canadian 25-cent coin. The history of the 25-cent coin, 2011 Canada. The Canadian 25-cent coin, popularly known as the quarter, has been an enduring part of Canada's numismatic and cultural identity. While the quarter has circulated in various designs since the 19th century, the 2011 Canadian 25-cent coin is especially significant. It represents a period when Canada was producing both standard circulation quarters and an array of commemorative issues that reflected the nation's history, culture, wildlife, and achievements. The year 2011 holds a unique place in Canadian coinage history. It was a time when the Royal Canadian Mint, RCM, was pushing creative boundaries, introducing special edition quarters while still maintaining the traditional caribou design for general use. In this detailed history, we will explore the origins of the Canadian quarter, the design and symbolism of the 2011 version, the minting process, the commemorative series of that year, and the broader historical and cultural significance of the coin. Origins of the Canadian 25-cent coin. Early development. The Canadian 25-cent coin was first issued in 1870. 3 years after Confederation. The earliest quarters featured the effigy of Queen Victoria on the obverse and a wreath of maple leaves on the reverse. The denomination 25 cents was prominently inscribed, establishing the coin's place in Canada's decimal currency system. Over time, Canadian quarters evolved through different monarchs. King Edward VII, King George V, King George VI, and Queen Elizabeth II. Each monarch's portrait reflected not only the changes in leadership but also the evolving artistry of coin engravers. Introduction of the caribou design in 1937. As part of Canada's first standardized national coinage designs, the caribou image was introduced on the 25-cent coin. Designed by Emmanuel Hahn, the caribou became a symbol of Canada's northern wilderness and a staple of Canadian quarters for decades. From then on, while commemorative designs occasionally appeared, the caribou remained the standard reverse design and became one of the most iconic images in Canadian numismatics. The Canadian quarter in the 21st century. By the 2000s, the Royal Canadian Mint had become internationally recognized for its innovation. The quarter played a particularly important role in commemorative programs such as the 1992 Provincial Series, the 1999 to 2000 Millennium Quarters, and later wildlife and Olympic-themed issues. The 2011 Canadian quarter continued this trend, combining tradition, the caribou design for circulation, with innovation, special edition quarters marking events and themes important to Canadians. The standard 2011 Canadian 25-cent coin obverse design. The obverse of the 2011 Canadian quarter featured the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Susanna Blunt in 2003. Unlike earlier portraits of the Queen, Blunt's design depicted her without a crown, presenting a more modern, dignified, and approachable image. Inscription: Elizabeth II Diegit Regina, Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. Symbolism. This portrait emphasized both continuity with tradition and Canada's evolution as a modern nation under a constitutional monarchy. Reverse design. The reverse design carried Emmanuel Hahn's caribou, a majestic animal representing Canada's wildlife and wilderness. Caribou. Native to Canada's boreal forests and tundra, the caribou symbolizes endurance, adaptability, and the natural environment. Inscriptions. The word Canada appeared above the caribou, with 25 cents and the year 2011 below. Engraving style. The clean, simple lines highlighted the antlers and strong body of the caribou, reinforcing Canada's image as a land tied closely to nature. Specifications. Composition. 2011 circulation steel core, plated with nickel and multi-ply brass. Weight: 4.4 grams. Diameter: 23.88 mm. Edge: reeded, milled. The multi-ply plating technology, developed by the Royal Canadian Mint in the 2000s, ensured durability, anti-counterfeiting measures, and cost-efficiency commemorative 25-cent coins of 2011. One of the most exciting aspects of 2011 was the release of multiple commemorative quarters. These issues reflected Canada's identity and achievements in sports, nature, and culture. Point 1. The 2011 Wood Bison Quarter, part of the Canadian Wildlife Series. The Wood Bison Quarter celebrated one of Canada's most iconic animals. The design depicted a massive bison in profile, symbolizing strength and resilience. The Orca Quarter, another wildlife-themed coin issued in 2011, was the Orca Quarter. It featured the image of an orca leaping from the water, a tribute to Canada's Pacific Ocean heritage. Point 3. The 2011 colorized quarters. The Royal Canadian Mint was also experimenting with color technology during this period. Some special collector versions of quarters included colored highlights, especially in Wildlife Series coins. Point 4. The Olympic legacy. Though the Vancouver 2010 Winter Olympics had concluded the previous year, some Olympic-themed quarters continued to circulate in 2011, as leftover issues from the extensive commemorative program, 2007 to 2010, were still in use. These special issues made 2011 an important year for collectors, as the RCM balanced the traditional caribou quarter with fresh designs that celebrated Canada's environment and culture. Production and distribution. The Royal Canadian Mint, headquartered in Ottawa with a major facility in Winnipeg, was responsible for minting the 2011 quarter's Winnipeg plant, produced billions of circulation coins annually, including the 2011 quarter's Ottawa headquarters, focused on numismatic and collector issues. The 2011 quarter was struck in large numbers for circulation, but the commemorative quarters were minted in more limited quantities, making them attractive to collector symbolism and cultural significance. The caribou as national symbol. The continued use of the caribou in 2011 reinforced Canada's image as a nation closely tied to its natural environment. The caribou has long been associated with Indigenous traditions, northern communities, and the ecological heritage of Canada. The Queen's portrait on the obverse highlighted Canada's connection to the Commonwealth and constitutional monarchy. By 2011, Queen Elizabeth II had been on Canada's coinage for nearly 60 years, representing stability and continuity. Wildlife and national identity. The wildlife quarters of 2011 emphasized Canada's diversity and ecological richness. Animals such as the bison and orca reminded Canadians of their responsibility to preserve the environment. Numismatic value and collectability. While the standard 2011 caribou quarter is common in circulation, commemorative versions hold higher value. Circulation value, 25 cents. Collector value, depending on condition, rarity, and design, commemorative 2011 quarters can be worth between $1 and 10 Canadian dollars, with special colored or proof versions commanding higher premiums. Mint sets. The RCM issued 2011 coin sets containing quarters in uncirculated and proof finishes, popular among collectors. Historical context of 2011. The year 2011 was significant both in Canada and globally. Canadian events. Canada was experiencing economic recovery after the 2008-09 financial crisis. National pride remained strong following the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. Royal milestone. Queen Elizabeth II celebrated her 85th birthday in 2011, making her the oldest reigning monarch in Canadian history at the time. Global context. The Arab Spring, global economic challenges, and technological growth, such as smartphones and social media, were shaping the world, and Canada was reflecting stability in a time of change. The 2011 quarter, though small, symbolized Canada's endurance, cultural pride, and connection to both history and nature. The role of the quarter in everyday life. The 25-cent coin has always been a central part of Canadian commerce. By 2011, while electronic payments and debit cards were becoming more common, coins like the quarter remained essential for vending machines, parking meters, and small transactions. The coin's wide circulation made it an accessible piece of national identity for every Canadian, From children collecting their first quarters to seasoned numismatists, the evolution after 2011. After 2011, the Canadian quarter continued to evolve. More commemorative series were issued, including coins celebrating Canada's 150th anniversary in 2017. The caribou design has remained a cornerstone, though the mint has expanded creative approaches, including glow-in-the-dark coins and advanced minting technologies. 2011 thus sits at an interesting crossroads. It represents both tradition, the caribou quarter, and innovation, wildlife, and colored quarters. The 2011 Canadian 25-cent coin is more than just a small piece of metal. It is a symbol of national pride, heritage, and creativity. The standard caribou quarter continued a tradition stretching back to 1937, while the commemorative issues of that year celebrated Canada's wildlife and culture. By examining the 2011 quarter, we see a reflection of Canada itself, a country rooted in history yet eager to innovate, proud of its monarchy yet uniquely Canadian, and deeply tied to its natural environment. For collectors and historians alike, the 2011 Canadian quarter remains a fascinating chapter in the story of Canadian numismatics, one that bridges the past and future of the nation's coinage.